So, do you want to just go ahead and say your name?
My name is Troy Nelson. I am an actor on the train for quite some time now, on and off, and I'm playing a character called Hawthorne Braithwhite in the show called Lady Killer.
Awesome. Well, Troy, thank you so much for being here today. So, tell me a little bit about your history with the Murder Mystery Dinner Train.
Well, I'm kind of the old man of the crew, I guess. I have been here longer than anybody else. I started in the late 90s, tried out for a show when I was doing some other stuff around town, and at the time, you guys were only doing 2 shows a week on the weekends. So I've been here since you've added Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I've seen it from near the beginning and been here off and on for 20-some years now. I've started and stopped a couple times to have kids and so forth, but I always seem to get back on the train every now and then. So I've seen the growth and the change in different personnel and stuff, but it's always been a fun job and it's always been a great experience.
So we used to do a thing in the past where we would play multiple shows a week, but now since COVID-19, we've gone down to truncating to 1 show for every 2 or 3 months. So how do you find adapting to multiple characters in one setting?
You know, it used to be, it's an adaptation in that 1 show a week. It's a longer run for those shows. And when we do here on the train, each car is divided into a separate show. So on a busy night, we're actually doing 4 or 5 shows a night. So we're running that show a lot more times. We could do 25, 30 shows in a week. If we're doing 4 or 5 shows a night. So I'm finding it, you have a lot more fun. You have some time to play with the character, come up with some stuff. The train is a unique venue that you are working right here in the aisle of the cars. We're working with, so there's a lot more time to play with the audience, break that fourth wall. Sometimes we call it controlled improv because there's so much going on. You have some leeway, but you have some time to develop the character a little bit more and play with it a little bit. So, but the scheduling sometimes can be a challenge when you're committing to 3 or 4 months of a show, but we seem to make it work.
Awesome. So what's your favorite part about getting ready for a role when it comes to a new show on the train?
Well, depending on the role, there have been different ones. Once I get the script, I try to take, I read it through and I try and find a voice or something of a character. I like kind of doing some of the research because I'll try and pull, depending on the time period or what we're doing, do some research on looking at old shows or movie actors or something to find a character. Kind of fun to find the voice and the movement of the character and the cadence. I like having that fun time just kind of developing a character, finding their own voice and their own emotions and so forth. It's fun for me.
Awesome. So do you find it better for when you're doing a murder mystery show? Do you find it easier to play a more comedic role, or do you find it better to play a more serious role?
Anybody who's seen me act or do stuff, physical comedy is my first love. You know, I grew up on Abbott Costello and in my early stages of acting, Saturday Night Live, Chris Farley, those are my heroes, John Candy. So the physical acting or that kind of humorous role is probably my first love. But I like the idea of playing other parts in a straight role, or sometimes those have their own unique qualities to bring it up. But for me, my first go-to is the physical comedy, goofy character.
Cool. So what's been your favorite part about playing the role of Hawthorne Braithwhite in this recent show, Lady Killer?
Well, they've given me some latitude to develop the character, maybe not exactly as the way you wrote it to some degree, but I give him a little bit more flamboyant. Hawthorne's one of those characters can almost get away with anything. He'll say the things that you want to say but can't because of that. So it's been kind of fun to play an over-the-top kind of flamboyant character like that. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Okay, so if you had the opportunity to create a murder mystery show of your own, what setting would you put it in, and what kind of murder would you want?
if I could do it all by myself and pick something.
Yeah, if you could write
Well,
your
I
own
thought-
murder mystery.
You know, the train is a unique venue, but I would love to rent out like a big mansion and have the guests all stay in there and have like a murder mystery that went over like dinner to the next day kind of thing. You know, almost like a real life Clue kind of thing.
Oh,
but-
so like a Clue, but with bread and breakfast.
Yes, but not the same tired Captain Colonel Mustard with. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to create a real unique atmosphere where maybe several characters die off and everybody's interactive, but you have characters that it goes on for maybe a little bit more than just an evening. That would be kind of fun.
That would be very
unique
fun.
location and a little few surprises for them here and there.
That's awesome. So what are you looking forward to the most coming up for the end of the season for this year with Rocky Murder and the Christmas show, Nutcracker's Final Curtain?
Well, the Rocky is going to be fun. It's something unique, something new that we brought to the show. So it's always fun to do stuff around Halloween and the people come dressed in costumes and doing stuff. I think that's going to be another character that's kind of outrageous and out there and kind of get away with a lot. That whole scene I think is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of goofy characters, a lot of interaction. And the Christmas show, I think I'm going to be playing Mother Ginger because it's an adaptation on the Toy Soldier. I get to play a male version of Mother Ginger, complete with the dress and the curls and the whole thing. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Oh, that's exciting. And are there any shows that have been performed in the past that you would like to see be revived for the 2023 season of Murder?
I played a character where we've had a series of these things where there's a character called Chester. He's the trained detective, kind of a goofy guy, but he's the one that solves the murders. I don't get to be the guy that solves the murders very often, so maybe they'll bring Chester back at some point in time. He's a trained detective.
Awesome. And then, can you give away anything about Lady Killer, or are you keeping it all
Lady
to
Killer,
wraps?
it's not the obvious choice. But Lady Killer, think of that, and then maybe you will be able to figure out who the killer is. Just think about the title. But it's not the obvious choice.
Well, Troy, thank you so much for doing this. And if you have any final words of advice, go ahead and say them to our audience.
Come see us on the Murder Mystery Train. We guarantee you have a good time. It's a whole unique setting, food, travel, and a show. Please come join us.